Alright, how can we get the Scraps Tech Workshop mod? Well, basically, this mod was proposed for the Mod Jam, I think from 2025. It's one that ranked really well, and honestly, it's a super interesting mod that I've played a bit with, collecting scraps and resources. And the entire mod centers around this material. It's a fairly small mod that you can easily play through in a couple of hours. And, well, to get it, basically what we'll do is search for Scrap Tech Workshop. As it shows, it has 7,000 users, came out 4 months ago, and was last updated 3 months ago. Simply go to the Files section, Forge, Old Game Versions 1.21, 3 buttons, and Get File. We'll save this file by pressing Windows plus R app data, going to roaming.minecraft and into the mods folder. If you don't have a mods folder, right click, select new and create the folder. That's it. Okay, here I have it. So this way we can start using this mod without any problems. Alright, how can we get scrap? When we start this mod, the Scrap Tech Workshop mod, we'll begin with this HoloLog introduction, which basically gives us a somewhat apocalyptic vision of what would happen. Cities falling, skies burning. It's really interesting how this hologram essentially just shows us Minecraft items. This gives us access to the holopad introduction, okay? If we right click this item, it explains how we can obtain scrap in Minecraft. Basically, it explains that in the early game, we can get scrap through fishing. We can catch components and other scrap items. We can also find scrap piles in natural mounds and collect them for immediate loot. The truth is, I haven't found any of these mounds. I have to admit, neither in caves nor anywhere else, okay? The way I've found it is through loot check, which is basically exploring structures. The rarer the structure, the better scrap loot you'll find, okay? Or rather, the bigger you are. Then in mid-game, there are other automation systems like collector stations, recyclers. And in late game, there are much bigger and more advanced machines. Got it? So that's how we can get this type of scrap without any problems. Alright, once we've collected our first bit of scrap, the mod will notify us and give us the holopad scavenging field briefing. We'll right-click to establish the connection and see what it explains. Basically, they're telling us to build a floating scrap collector to automate this collection process. It simply lists everything needed for crafting. The recipe is 2 planks, 2 thread, 2 iron, 1 barrel, and scrap metal. Basically, we'll take this item here and place it in the water. As you can see, if I right click out of water, it says it can only be placed in water. I'm looking for one I placed earlier. Look, it's this one here, okay? Now you place it and you'll also need a filter, okay? In this case, the filter is made with a stick and thread. And basically, as you can see, it's going to start filling with water. When this fills with water, it's going to act as a generator for us, okay? Here, for example, it has already used up 3 durability points, it seems. If this keeps filling, the filter wears out with each use and has given us a stick, scrap metal, and fastener scrap. And this way we'll be able to continue having access to better and better resources in terms of scrap, okay? I recommend, obviously, that you place as many as you can, okay? Craft as many as you can, because ultimately it's an automatic way to get these resources. Also, something interesting is that they connect with each other. That is, this one, for example, if I put one underneath it now, it shouldn't have access to the water, but it still does, because as I said, they connect to each other, okay? And, well, so you can see the water is about to fill up, it fills, and we get a stick, okay? In the one next to it, we have more loot and more loot and more loot. Let's grab a chest. And, well, it doesn't seem to interact with hoppers, okay? So that's that. I wanted to try it, but no, I don't seem to have had much luck. But anyway, so you can see the type of loot we'll get. Scrap metal, fastener scrap, threads, sticks we don't need, and wood scrap, okay? So pretty basic elements. Very well, how do scrap fishing rods work? Okay, so this item here just gave me the Engineering 01 holopad, right? Super interesting. Because it gave me circuit scrap. Okay, there we have it. This item here, as you can see, is made with any type of scrap, 2 threads, and a stick. Or you can also take a fishing rod and surround it with scrap. This fishing rod says, it's made to collect metals and wire better. It's better at catching garbage, that is scrap, which is what we need, than catching fish. It's an item we're going to need, okay? because obviously scrap collectors are interesting, but if we want to get better scrap items like circuit scrap, for example, to unlock the hollow pad, right? Unlocking the next level, well, it's one of the ways we can do it. And obviously this fishing rod can be enchanted, alright? I've enchanted my fishing rod with Lure of the 3 and Luck of the Sea 3. As you can see, look at everything I'm getting. Nautilus shells, fish, string, and importantly, different types of scrap. Let's check out that last fish there. Look, that last fish gave me some more scrap. Basically, I've been getting copper scrap, circuit scrap, capacitoid scrap, even from the little fishing I've done, okay? So we're seeing much more advanced scrap values now compared to 4, 8, 10. We're talking 12, 15, 18, right? Something much more valuable that opens up many more possibilities for us. All right, how does the Scrap Multitool work within the mod of, it doesn't say, Scrap Tech Workshop? Well, first, the crafting requires quartz and almost any type of metal scrap, as we can see. In the center, a circuit scrap, which basically gives an efficiency bonus of 20%, and so on. You can get it easily by fishing. And finally, an energy cell. The energy cell is made with 2 circuit scraps, plastic rubber scrap, and capacitor scrap. All of this can be obtained by fishing. Basically, we crouch, right-click, and here we'll be placing our battery, okay? In this case, as you can see, it already has one. As you can see, it asks us for a... No, it doesn't require any voltage. We have upgrades, okay, apparently. Upgrade modules, I don't know if we have any today. Yes, we have fast charge and speed upgrade. Okay, let's grab a bunch. I'm going to crouch. As you can see, we can add a speed boost of ×2, okay? Twice as fast, or it also charges twice as fast, okay? In this case, it doesn't seem to load much. Let's see, it has exactly 2,493. Let's check it out now. 2,483. So the other way around. Let's use the speed one. Let's see if these work. And no, I don't get the impression that... No, they don't work, right? This is for machines, but, well, surely in the future they'll add it, keep adding more upgrades and stuff, so the upgrades work for this weapon. Okay, if you right-click, you can kind of deactivate the weapon, but, well, I'm not really sure. It doesn't work that well, honestly. It doesn't do much. So yeah, that's how the multi-tool crafts work, which, you know, is one of our objectives to complete. So super interesting. All right, how can we charge an energy cell? Well, first of all, let me introduce you to the scrap wind turbine, okay? We need to find a way to generate that energy, right? The energy cells in this Scrap Tech Workshop mod simply store energy that can later be used in tools, okay? Let's grab one. Let's take out the multi-tool and grab an energy cell. Let's say we just crafted an energy cell and, I don't know, it's empty, okay? Empty energy cell. In reality, when we craft them, they already have energy, but anyway. Basically, we would take a scrap wind turbine, and as you can see, we can place it here. It says it's depleted, or we can place it here to charge it. What's the difference between one action and then another? Well, the difference is basically if I put it here, what I'll do is theoretically refill the power that's here, okay? I mean, I'm going to be leaving my energy here, as you can see. It's just started. It's going to take a while to connect. There it goes in hundreds, okay? If I put it here, what it's going to do is charge. As you can see, it shows speed, 14.8, okay? Generating and so on. What affects the speed? Well, since it's a wind turbine, I'm not very smart, but I understand the higher up, the more it generates, okay? Let's test it. But before it generated 15, and here, how much does it generate? Being almost 20 blocks above, 30 blocks above. Takes a while, okay? By the way, the crafting recipe is this one. Copper, scrap metal, it's iron scrap, okay? All this can be obtained by fishing without any problem, and now it's at 16.9 and generates 33.8. 17.4, okay? 33.9. Of course, down here it generates 30. Well, obviously the higher up, the more it will generate, okay? So this way we could charge the battery. Then if we wanted to, because this only has a storage of 5,000, if we want to have a recharge station that already has a storage capacity of 32,000 energy, right? We can do that too. It has a slightly more complex crafting recipe with the circuit board, okay? And we need glass scrap or ceramic scrap, okay? From there, we can make the recharge station that stores much more energy and so on. So that's how we have it. That's how we can recharge energy cells without any problems. Very good. How does the scrap wind turbine work? Well, basically, it's made with iron scrap, scrap metal, iron, lightning rod, and energy. And it says a 2-block tower, a turbine that converts wind power into electrical energy. Basically, this item, as you can see, now has 30.5, right? 14.8 meters per second of wind speed, 15 meters per second. Now, if I go to the same height, okay? If I go to the same height, but at an elevation of 300, okay? Here I do a backfill here in bedrock from bedrock. There it is. I place a block and put the scrap wind turbine on top. You'll see, instead of generating 30 power being so high up, we can't even see the ground. Now, when it turns on, you'll see it has a power of 28, 21.3, okay? 21, well, a power of 42, and that's it. What this tool allows us to do is charge, okay? Nothing more and nothing less than charging. If we take an element that we need to charge, for example, an empty energy cell block, okay? We would grab it and place it here, and it would start charging, as you can see, with the energy being produced. It's going to take a while, eh? I'm telling you now. Obviously, we can also connect this energy to a recycler, okay? To a research station. See? We can connect it simply by putting it on top. I'm not sure if placing it next to it also works, honestly. Let's try it out. And it seems like it does, okay? If we put it next to it, it also works. So there you have it. That's how it works, imagine. What? Very good. How does the recycler work? First of all, we're going to look at the crafting. It's this one here, a piston, a scrap metal or iron metal, tech scrap, circuit scrap, capacitor scrap or energy cell scrap, a fastener scrap, copper scrap. All this is obtained with the fishing rod, and that's it. A hopper, a piston, a redstone block, a glass pane. If you'll allow me, I'm going a bit crazy here. There it is. So basically, how does it work? Well, we can connect a scrap wind turbine to the side, okay? And what you need to do here is place organic items, for example, a cobblestone. As you can see, it's starting to use energy there from the wind turbine, it's using it. And this cobblestone element is going to start processing, okay? As you can see, it shows progress 11%. This, theoretically, this is an upgrade slot fast charge. Theoretically, we should be able to, put it in the slots, okay? As you can see, it won't let me at the moment. So yeah, it won't let me, okay? But anyway, it's going to be processing the elements. And what will it give us? Good. Important. Here I have the table. It says, if we put in any wool, it'll give us fiber scrap, and we have a 10% chance to get wood scrap, okay? It will give us 4 fiber scrap. If we put in iron ore, it'll give us 6 iron scrap, and we might get fastener scrap at a 10% chance. If we put copper, 6 copper scrap and coil scrap at 20%. If we put amethyst clusters, we can get crystal scrap or luminous scrap at 10%. If we put a repeater 3 circuit scrap or tech scrap or glass scrap at 35% and 10%. And finally, cobblestone gives us 3 metal scrap and mineral scrap at 15%, okay? As you can see, it takes time, okay? It takes a while, so you can go about your business, okay? You can relax and do other things. On the other hand, we could also connect a battery here for power, but honestly, I recommend not using batteries because it's buggy and you should just craft this instead. I know it seems a bit daunting at first, but trust me, it's worth it. It's totally worth it, okay? Now, if you had a recycler and let's say you already have an energy cell, right? Let's place a recycler here. If I try to put the energy cell in first, it won't accept it. See, it shows 3.2 volts, so we're good. You need to place a scrap wind turbine first to start the voltage flow, unlock the battery, and then it will start accepting energy. So that's why I'm telling you, if you have to craft this to use the energy cell, just use this instead and you're done. Do you understand? I mean, it doesn't consume more than it generates. Look, if I take cobblestone now, okay? Now I have cobblestone and I place it, the energy doesn't drop. 1550, it's not dropping, but it's being used. See, I mean, it's not going down. Of course, what we can do later is get fancy by placing 2, one next to the other, okay? 1670, and theoretically the energy will distribute, right? If I now start to put 3, okay, if I put 3 now, it should charge more slowly, right? The energy distributes, if you see, it's slowly decreasing, okay? And all this for just one turbine, of course. Obviously, if I go overboard now, I don't know if you put it on top, it doesn't work. We can put one underneath too, okay? Look, if you do all this setup and place 5, then yes, you'll need more energy. Not that much though. I mean, look how slowly it drops. It really drops slowly, huh? It's a way to make use of scrap wind turbines. Plus, we're not getting much efficiency out of it either. We could go much higher up, we could go much higher for more power and probably lose almost nothing. So, there we have it, okay? That's how the recycler works. Great. Now that we know how to get any type of scrap through the recycler station, let's learn how the recharge station works, okay? Something that some of you might recognize by name. Basically, the recharge station is used to recharge energy, okay? For example, let's take an empty energy cell block with 10,000 mAh. As you can see, it says 3.2 volts here, but it charges all types of elements anyway. So we have two options, okay? The recharge station is crafted as follows. As you can see, it needs copper scrap, coil scrap, I'll show you in a moment, circuit board and tech scrap, okay? The coil scrap, well, you get it as is. I've already explained how to get each element with the recycler, and circuit scrap is made with glass or ceramic scrap, any type of metal scrap, and circuit scrap. Got it. So the circuit board is quite tricky. Glass scrap and ceramic scrap are theoretically obtained through fishing, okay? If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me later. And, well, it starts loading now, as you can see, right? The way we can power it is the same as with the recycler, okay? We place a battery here, but it must have a scrap wind turbine connected. Got it? Because otherwise the battery we put here won't do anything, okay? Now when it empties, it's starting to empty now, see? And as you can see, it's recharging my energy without any issues. So yeah, that's how this element works. There's not much more to it. Alright, let me show you how the magnet fishing rod works. Okay, first of all, I'll show you the crafting recipe. It's made with a stick, an iron scrap, 2 coil scraps, and a thread, okay? The coil scrap is obtained from the recycler and such, okay? And there we also have, we can make the scrap fishing rod if we want, though it's not really worth it, as we can see, okay? So, that's how you make the magnet fishing rod. It says, a powerful magnetic fishing rod that attracts metallic scrap and tech components from the depths. Okay, so let's try fishing to see if any new items appear. As it says, you can enchant it with Luck of the Sea 3, Lure 3, and theoretically it should give us more scrap than other resources, but let's see. Well, I've fished for a while and got capacitor scrap, circuit scrap, basically the same scraps as before, but of higher quality, okay? No, there's not much more to it. So that's how this fishing rod works, okay? It's that simple. Alright, let's see how the fine mesh filter works, okay? The floating scrap collector can use different filters, and one of them is the fine mesh filter, which is the next level after the basic scrap filter and is crafted with string, cobwebs, and a basic scrap filter. With this filter, what we'll be collecting is plastic scrap, fiber scrap, circuit scrap, glass scrap, and rubber scrap, okay? I think that's all we'll get from it. I don't think there are any other materials, okay? Here we can see the proportions of what we'll collect, okay? So basically, most of what we'll get is plastic scrap, fiber scrap, and rubber scrap, okay? Circuit scrap will be the least common, and glass scrap is also somewhat rare, but this is another way to unlock these slightly rarer elements that are harder to get by fishing and other methods. So we're definitely going to need this fine mesh filter. Very good. How does the magnetic coil filter work? It basically says, attracts metal scrap with electromagnetic fields. Let's see what kind of elements it gives us. I'll move it around, but I can tell you that they all give pretty much the same results, which is basically copper items, right? Copper scrap, coil scrap, iron scrap, and alloy scrap. So all metallic items. There's even gold scrap, which is a fairly uncommon item according to this. So that's pretty cool. I guess there might be other rare elements from other meshes and filters that I just haven't been lucky enough to get yet. You can see this is the only one with gold, right? All the others. Oh, wait, look, this one has gold too. Okay, and there are 5 gold here, 5 gold. As you can see, the most common items are iron scrap, copper scrap, and alloy scrap, while gold and coil scrap are a bit rarer. So there we have it. That's how the magnetic coil filter works. It's crafted with reclaimed copper wire, which is made like this. Pretty simple, and now we know how to get coil scrap. So it's that straightforward. And the fine mesh filter. Very good. How does the electro-condensator filter work? With this crafting here, magnetic coil filter, capacitor scraps, refined copper wires, and redstone. The refined copper wires they're used just like this, okay? So what kind of drops will we get? Well, we'll see them, but it says, place in floating scrap collector, captures energy-rich technological debris. This is theoretically the most advanced level, so it should give us the rarest possible item. We can see it gives this rare element, scrap value 25, the energy cell scrap, right? And the value barely drops below 18 on average. I'll keep checking in case there's something super rare. I've been AFK here for a while, but honestly, I don't see anything else special, you know? So that's it. After collecting a bit of everything, there we have it. Coil scrap, energy cell scrap, circuit scrap, capacitor scrap, and tech scrap. I don't know if there's any other scrap type we haven't seen yet. No, we've seen them all. Yes, we've seen all of them. Well, there's bioscrap, which I haven't seen any crafting for, but it says here decompose organic matter. This is done with the recycler. Yes, we've seen them all. I thought there were some rare ones like these here, energy cell and tech scrap, but now we know how to get them. You get them with this element here, okay? So that's it. These would be the most advanced elements, so to speak, of the game, okay? And then there's the junk filter. Don't miss it, okay? Very good. How do basic scrap collector stations work? Well, they're pretty simple, really. They're crafted with redstone, iron scrap, circuit boards, energy cell, made like this, and circuit board, okay? So they're actually quite cheap. So we'll be placing this element, okay? I'm going to place it here, for example, and it's asking for 16,000 energy first, okay? So let's put a wind turbine, okay? And when it starts spinning, it will begin charging the station. If it starts spinning, of course, because it looks a bit stuck right now. There it is, starting to spin, okay? It won't have much power. It's at 11.6 because it's somewhat surrounded by blocks. This one here is 14.8, 8.9, probably because it has blocks on two sides. I also want you to notice it spins slower, see? While that one over there rotates much faster. See how it spins super fast, and look how this one moves, okay? Well, that's how it is. So as you can see, it spins and charges the robot, okay? The energy basically recharges the robot, and once charged, it goes on an expedition, okay? Here we have a robot. They go on expeditions when they're set to collecting mode, okay? Here, collecting 18, 15, well, they're all there, just came out and then return with items. And what items do they give you? They give you tech scrap, copper scrap, scrap metal, alloy scrap, string copper scrap, and not much else, right? Just a bit of all the same item. It says, automatically collects piles of scrap in the area using a small robot. Requires an energy cell to use. Well, if you can put in an energy cell. And here are upgrades. I don't know if the upgrades work. I have no idea. Speed upgrade. 15, 16, 17. Let's see if I remove them. Man, it seems so. And the fast charge upgrade works too, right? Increase battery and robot charging speed in machines. Okay. So here we could place the speed upgrades to make this a bit faster and not take forever to collect materials, okay? It will use more energy though, okay? Just keep that in mind. But hey, at least the collecting speed increases significantly. So there we have it, okay? And this would be, that's the cover of the mod, okay? Just so you know. I mean, this is what they showcase about the mod. Literally in the trailer as the final thing, which really is the final thing. It's the floating scrap collector with junk filter. But I understand it's not as attractive as this, right? But anyway, there we have it. Alright, and to finish up with the mod explanation, let's go over how the junk filter works. Basically, what kind of resources it will give us. It's the last filter of all, okay? It's the absolute top tier. There's nothing better, and it has a durability of 150. We need plastic scrap, 2 magnetic coil filters, and 4 fine mesh filters. Basically, its purpose is to filter trash to collect only the highest quality scrap. You can see it gives us scrap metal, plastic scrap, copper scrap, tech scrap, and circuit scrap. All pretty good. I don't see gold scrap, but it does give us alloy scrap. There's another new one, crystal scrap, which is super interesting. This one is really hard to craft because we need amethyst clusters, crystal scrap again, luminous scrap, more of the same. Super interesting to get. and we're seeing, well, they're more or less, I'm not seeing any gold. I understand it might drop or it's very rare, but there's a little bit, I haven't left it running long, right? I'll tell you, I mean, I've only left it for a short while, and we have alloy and scrap metal here. So yeah, this latest upgrade is super, super interesting. I'm telling you, right? With this, we'd have the mod more than completed, so nothing more to say. I hope you like the scrap mod. I expect they'll add more uses for scrap in the future, because right now, if you collect all this scrap, what's it good for, right? Well, there are the boxes, okay? For example, you can smelt the alloy scrap box to get iron. You can smelt this one to get copper. The copper can be smelted to get copper. Smelt the fastener for iron. Smelt the gold for gold. And that's what scrap is for, okay? I don't know if any will give you diamonds, okay? I'm going to try the rarest ones. Let's review them. We won't look at all, but tech has no use. Energy cell has no use. Circuit has none. Capacitor none. Plastic none. Insulation none. Glass none. And luminous none, okay? So yeah, it's just a matter of seeing what they'll add in the future. This mod might be the winner of the 2025 Jam, or at least among the best, right? I just don't want to go on too much. But anyway, huge congratulations to the creator. It's a super mod, super interesting. I see tons of potential in it. For me, in my opinion, it needs a lot more work. Like, the foundation is there, but really all this base doesn't, I don't find it that useful, okay? Just to get what? Iron, copper, and gold? I mean, you could make an iron farm that takes less time, and right? But the concept is awesome. The ideas are fantastic, and I think they have brutal potential. Absolutely brutal, okay? I don't know. It occurs to me, for example, that the scrap piles could be automated with something like a compressor that converts 9 scraps into a rubber scrap block instead of a box. And that block could then be melted down for an iron block instead of an ingot, for example. That would be quite different. It would also be cool if the scrap collectors worked with hoppers. Well, you could do 1,000 things, right? You could even make bigger creatures. I mean, right now we have mini robots, but what about giant robots? For example, that could collect even more scrap, etc., etc., etc. Again, this mod is incredible. It's super cool. The model of this creature is really well designed. So congratulations to the creator. Super, super interesting. And yeah, like all the mods they've made, really. The creator is Kaokawaru. And they've made all these mods that we've been showcasing bit by bit, some of them. So yeah, super, super interesting, folks.